I'm almost ready to ship. I'm still trying to figure out. I don't like the railway deployment per se of just like what's an easy way to get it. No, Paul Good, Cozy, and AI vibe code. I know it's all just vibe code. Oh, I should name this live stream vibe coding. Nah, we'll just talk about it. We'll just talk about it. It wouldn't matter anyway. So vibe coding looks so weird on a computer screen. Is this? Okay, there we go. Oh, very nice. So with this, we went kind of interesting. Go ahead and when you're done, go ahead and push to staging, please. So vibe coding with Claude tonight. We have the app we're trying to get done, more or less, or finished. We're almost done, making progress. A lot of little, I don't know. I've had like the most inquiries for like this AI vibe coded app or the AI automation app, especially all this week. So just trying to figure out what's the easiest way to get it into the hands. So like, how do you deal with like software updates? Coder do David. It's not like a question you have to answer right now, but that's my thing is like, I'm going to be pushing updates over the next week with different beta test users, and there's going to be lots of updates. So like, is like a railway push or sync the best way? Or it's like, because it's not software as a service. Jen, welcome. Do you know which AI websites help create real estate videos with transitions and construction? Mine does. AI websites I create real estate videos and mine does. I say that, Jen, because I have a content automation app named Cam. Actually, let me show you Cam. That's actually what we're building tonight. Nice to meet you. Jen, you came at a good time. Meet Cam, which is my content automation app. That is actually the app I use to publish content. And from here, basically, it does a lot of interesting things. But the main thing is that you pipe in a piece of content.
Did you know most coaches are wasting 60 hours a month creating content?
Out comes your avatar, and I have close up so you can see the details. Hi, Nikki. I'm introducing Jen to Cam, my content automation machine that will produce content. I'll hold still just because the quality is so good. Like this camera phone doesn't do it quite justice. I'm excited. New news, Nikki. I'm excited for everyone. So one of the members has a business where he has a product for pet owners that their dogs have just become blind. So blind first time pet owners. And we popped his business description into the app because you can fill out different business profiles. So it knows everything about your business. So it doesn't matter if it's real estate, he was doing it for pets, and then it just generates content with the click of a button. So basically it's 3 buttons to create content, 8 minutes for it to produce. I mean, content ranges usually less than $5, let's say. It's like less than $5, depending on how complex and how realistic you want. Oh, my AI, oh, my AI avatar is so realistic.
Did you know Google just secretly replaced its
Look at
entire
that.
search brain?
It will do
If
anyone.
you notice search,
It will do any person. You could put any person, you or someone else. We just need a photo. Oh, and then we show you how to clone yourself. It's super easy. And then once you're in, and it's at my website, link in bio. Da-da-da. It's called Cam, your content automation machine. It produces content like this. And so basically he publishes 4 times a day minimally, and you never have to get on camera ever again. You just pump in the content, click a button, 8 minutes later you get your talking head avatar. And I gotta update. I'm changing. If you go to the website you can sign up, but ignore the price on the other side. I'm rebuilding the website on the other side. I'm literally launching this week, and I'm changing it to subscription, so it's more affordable. So I'm vibe coding that. But you can sign up, and on the other side is a calendar link, and you could just book. I gotta change that right now because I gotta talk about that. How secure is the site? You host it. You're hosting on your own account in Railway, so I'm not hosting anything. So I technically am not a software as a service, although I am giving you the software. I'm licensing you the software. You are going to run it, and I show you how to set it up in a Railway account. That way, it's your API keys secure. They're never shared anywhere, not on my computer, anyone else's. All of your data is private, not shared anywhere. Actually, that's the data right there. And you run your own API usage. There's no API markup. So you could run it and at cost, and I don't make any money off the markup. So I just make my thing is only a subscription for it. So that way, everything's secure on your site, on your data. So as long as you can secure your own virtual private server, you can actually run it. And we have a new one. Do you do private tutorials? Yep. With this, when you sign up, you actually do get a one-on-one with me because I kind of have to walk you through setting it up. It's not like a easy software to kind of like click and set up. It's your entire content department. Like there is a whole, it's a very simple 8-step process, very simple, that goes through like building out your business profile, setting up your avatar, headshot, cloning your voice, scheduling, platform, what platforms you want to platform on, and then I just do the license. You get a little license key, and that's it. And then all your API keys stay on yours. So this is going to be a monthly sub. Yeah, this one's going to be. It's a completely separate than the community. This is Cam, and so Cam is a totally vibe coded software that's just meant to pump out AI avatar content with the click of a button.
Did you know Google just secretly replaced its entire search brain? If you noticed search acting smarter this week, here's why. On January 27th, Google flipped the switch. Gemini 3 now powers every AI overview globally. This isn't just an update, it's a complete brain transplant. Here's what changed. Google now handles multi-step questions like a conversation.
It's crazy.
You can ask follow-ups without starting over. It's like chatting with the smartest person on earth. But here's the kicker. If your content doesn't answer questions directly, you're about to disappear from search results. Follow for more AI updates that actually matter.
Interesting. That is the AI avatar. That is what we're kind of finishing up vibe coding tonight. And then I'm adding a new feature tonight because not everything is AI content. So I have like 13 videos that are just me. So the app allows you to upload your organic content and then it'll automatically transcribe, write the captions, and schedule to publish. All automatically, which is like super nice to automate your business. Yeah, kind of curious about this question here. And go. There we go, David. Hello, David. How's it going?
Here, I'll turn on my mic, I guess. Or
Fancy.
So, I've been trying to do that on one of my pieces of software. I haven't had very much luck. Well, I found out I think it was another thing that I built that was actually causing what I thought was the thing that I was doing was the problem. So I ripped all the code out, and then I found out the problem was still there. So then I've spent the last 2 to 3 days ripping code out, trying to figure out where the problem is, and finally figured it out. So luckily, it just commented it out. I told it, don't delete anything. I said, just go through, comment out this feature, until we figure this out. Anyways, so what I would suggest doing for your update is, since you're on the software side, it's always good to be safe. Probably when someone's doing like a backup of it, have the script back up their database, back up any files that have like their EMV file, make a backup of it, anything that has like data in it that is
Okay.
pertaining to them before they do the update, just in case if when they start using it,
Mm-hmm.
if for some reason it deletes everything, you know what I mean?
Okay.
It shouldn't, but just always good case scenarios. Just
That's a good
have
edge case.
it make a backup. So as they start using it, if there's any problems or something gets messed up, then they have a backup of the previous session. And then you could have it where like 24 hours or a couple days later, the software could remind them, hey, this backup was made. And then you could have something that would programmatically, they could hit a button and then go in and it would delete the backup. Or they could keep it if they wanted. I mean, they
That's
don't
pretty good.
have to. But it would incrementally every time would make a backup of that stuff and just sit it out there to the side.
Mm-hmm.
And they could keep them or they could choose to delete them. It's just the space. But that would be a recommendation. Just ask Claude, hey, I want to, when I push out an update and someone tries to, I'm trying to think of, for Rails or what you're using, does that have a way where it can actually like pull the code in or something, or they're going to have to actually download the code and run it themselves? Do you know?
That's such a good question because it's doing a Docker and image to obfuscate the code, but I don't know how that works for updates because it's not like synced. So it's like they got to go through the process to re-get a new Railway shared link, I would assume. I'm assuming. I don't think so. But it's like, yeah, it's like, how do you push? If you did local, or I don't know.
Well, my assumption then would be maybe that it would spin up the new Docker, and then in some way you would have to code it where it could migrate the data they had from the previous one over to the new one. So you'd have to create a migration then maybe that would be the way, is you would have the old Docker, and then you'd have them create the new one, and then you would have some kind of maybe migration script that would move the data from the old one to the new one. Maybe
That's
something
interesting.
like that. And then the old one's still there. It's just shut down. It has everything still there as if it still works.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just they have the new one, and it would have all their new data and whatever changed, and then it would run. And if there was any issues, they could just revert back to the previous one.
That's interesting.
That's probably the route I'd go. Because what I was doing is, since I did a GitHub, there's a way where you can just call the GitHub. There's a hook on GitHub where you can you can have your application ping GitHub and check to see if there's a new update. And so what would happen is when you logged on software, a bar would just come on the top and say, hey, there's like most software. A bar would come on the top and say, hey, there's new software, an update. And then what would happen is another child program or program would open up beside. You won't see this, but what would happen is when you hit the update, it would download it, and then it would open up another program beside it that you wouldn't see as it did the install, and then it would delete that one and then reinstall another one in its place and then reopen the new one.
The old Indiana's
That's usually how they
switcheroo. It's like an Indiana trick. That's pretty clever. That's kind of interesting. Does that happen on Railway? Like you can put scripts on it?
Web-based. Mine's desktop-based.
Yeah.
That was the difference. Mine was desktop. Mine was desktop with web inside of it, so I could technically just install the new web stuff inside the desktop part. So I was just trying to kind of figure out the different pieces. There's two different ways to do it. But Claude kind of wrote all that. I was like, I know these are the options. What would you suggest? So it kind of figured out most of that for me. But anyways,
So
it kept having problems, but it found out it was this other issue. So
is it easier to push updates to a desktop software?
I wouldn't say any different than pushing to a web.
A web one? That's interesting. Because that seems, to me, it seems the desktop software version seems much more easier than this whole Railway deploy and set up and spin up. Like, just download the software, open it, and then it should sync or push updates. I don't know how, so we'll figure that out. and then unlock it with the license. You have your own data. It lives on your computer, your own database. I don't know if the updates will wipe a SQL or a
Well, it's the
Postgres.
same as you're doing in your VM with the cloud and the Docker.
Yeah,
It's the
same
exact
thing.
same thing. It has, you've downloaded it, you have your
Mm-hmm.
Docker, a new one, it sees a new update, it download, you click the button in it,
It's
it
got to do it
downloads
through
the
a
new
Docker.
Docker, then it
Gotcha.
just closes that Docker down, and then it has the new Docker, it transfers over the person's information to the new Docker, and
Gotcha.
then they just shut the other one down, and the person starts using the new one. And either they can leave that one as like a backup or they delete it. Most of the time, companies delete it.
Hmm.
But you could technically kind of leave it there for 24, 48 hours just to make sure everything's working.
Mm-hmm.
Or the person could choose to just leave it as a backup. Like if they don't like the newer version as much and they want to flip back, they could flip back to the previous version and continue to use it and wait for newer updates. So that way they could have
A little more
multiple
control.
versions.
I
Yeah,
like
they
that.
have more control. I mean, that's up to them if they want the space.
I want the newest,
They
yeah.
want to deal with having the multiple, and you could have it say just flip back to the previous version, and they could continue to use it until another rollout came out.
That totally makes sense. Nice. Yeah, because it's interesting of like how do you solve that challenge? And is like Railway the best way to like deploy and share to a bunch of users? It seems like you're deploying to your own. You're the SaaS. If that's like where Railway is mostly so like used for, but I don't want to
Yeah,
be a SaaS.
yeah. The piece
Hmm.
that I was using was just the GitHub repo, and you just go in there, and there's settings in the actions that you can turn a specific URL. They have a way that you turn a specific URL public
Mm-hmm.
for the updates only. And so the updates know to ping that as the URL to get the updates. And so it's read only. And so that it knows to check that as the updates. And when it sees it, that's how it knows where to pull from. Otherwise, you can have a private. My repo is private, my GitHub repo, but that one URL is public to get the new ones, to get your updates.
Is that separate?
No, it's
Oh,
free. It's all part of GitHub.
oh, okay. Oh wait,
It's
get.
under actions and stuff. Look, so if you ask Claude about that, because I was like, I
Oh,
don't
I
know
didn't know that.
how this would work in GitHub. So I asked
Mm-hmm.
Claude, I was like, there's got to be a way to have a private GitHub on Claude,
Right.
but still for people to be able to get public updates. And so it was like, yeah, you just go here, here, and here, and then turn on this, and it will give you this link will be public, and you can get updates from this link, and then the people can call the app will call that, and
Mm-hmm.
then your GitHub still is private.
Ah, that's interesting. That'd be something
Yeah,
to explore as a trade-off. Yeah, because I've come across that situation where I was like, I want to keep it private, but I want a public. So
yeah,
how, without making them a contributor?
yeah. Now, I mean, I don't, and it's read only. Now, I mean, in the sense of if someone were to go to that and they download the software, all that, it is what it is. But in the sense of them actually being able to push commits or all that stuff, um, they don't actually have access to the GitHub. They just
Mm-hmm.
have access to the whatever part that you've published. And from what I've seen is it's just like the exe or the CK or whatever you need for the Mac or whatever you need for the Linux. It's just the published files. It doesn't get the full GitHub repo unless you want the source code included. So the way Claude set mine up is it pulls just released. It has like a released folder it creates, and it just has each of your releases, and it only has that stuff in that read only URL for download.
Gotcha. That
So
makes sense.
now thinking about it, I'm having to think back through how it set it all up because I was like asking it all these questions. I was like, I don't want people access to the whole repo, and I was like, yeah, it just gives access to just the things, just the compiled program, just the pieces you want people to download into the application, and then you set up these things in the action part in the settings, and then walk me through it, and it's like you'll call that, and then it will prompt. You can set it up to prompt
the
Mm-hmm.
user, when it sees there's a new one, they'll hit the button, it'll download it to the computer.
That's
I'll,
pretty
as
dope.
Claude, set it up where it will, and I was like, oh, okay, sounds all good.
That's actually really dope because it's
Yeah.
like it's a very common issue of like how do you share and distribute, but also yeah, it's a very interesting challenge. But I like that. Yeah, I want to explore and see different trade-offs, but it seems like Docker is like the only way for like offline or to your computer basically that has all the details in it.
Well, you could probably run it in Electron or Tara. There are other programs that are wrappers for web-based applications.
Oh, because there's
Yeah,
that
ask
one
Claude.
Pi, like Electron, and what was the other one?
Tara, Tauri.
And these
I
are
don't know if I'm saying that right, but
well,
it's Tauri, I believe.
and what would you classify them? They're web-based
They're wrappers.
wrappers.
They're desktop wrappers for web-based applications. They let you build HTML, JavaScript, CSS, all into a exe or into a piece of build them
TMG.
as a piece of software.
Oh, yeah,
So they're a wrapper for web, and they allow you to turn them into a desktop application.
nice, nice.
So like Slack is actually just HTML, CSS,
Mm-hmm.
and but same as Spotify, Slack, all these big ones are actually just HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and they're in a wrapper. People don't even know that.
Oh, genius, genius.
That's why they look so similar, web-based and
Mm-hmm.
desktop-based. It's because it's just they put them inside a wrapper.
See, I don't mind that. I know. I think that feels like easier to deploy and for them to get like to just download, start using it, set up their API keys, and then they're off to the races. Because it's
Yeah.
like trying to onboard. Onboarding is a thing. But I'm intrigued.
And then it's local. You're not worrying about someone getting in the box and having to log in a box. And I
That's
mean,
the other
this is
thing
not
too.
something you need to access everywhere and security of a box and paying a monthly fee.
That's true. It's like it doesn't need to live in the cloud. It could be a desktop app that you just open up, the data stored, makes the calls. Like it doesn't have to. Like I feel like I don't feel like not everything needs to be a web app. Like
Yeah.
needs to be a software.
What
Interesting. What
languages
is your
do you
trade-offs?
I'm trying to see what language. Yeah, Tari is built in Rust, and I think Electron is built in like Python or one of the others. And there's a couple others as well. Let's see. Electron, I've heard mostly seen people use more for like Node or applications that run like Java or Node.
Mm-hmm.
I've just seen when using Tari. Like I said, I don't know if I'm saying that right. The Tari, Tauri. I've seen for it. It just seems a lot more slim. Now it doesn't have as many resources as the others, as in tutorials and stuff. But I mean, you're using Claude, but it seems like it runs faster and it's not as bloated from the experiments or the things I've seen when I've been using it. The terminal thing you saw me build, I had it use Tari.
Gotcha.
And Rust is almost like the level of C++. It's a lot faster. It's actually almost faster in Go. Like you have like JavaScript and all of them up here. Then you have like Python, and then you have like Go and Rust, and then you
Gotcha.
have like C and assembly. So like Rust and you have Go and Rust is slightly lower in it. And you have like C right there, or C++ slightly lower in that, and then like a C and then C++. So I mean, Rust is right there near the bottom. So I mean, it's pretty streamlined. It just has a little bit more difficult time building it, just because It's there's just not as many tutorials, and it's just got a little bit rougher around the edges. But it seems to run a lot better from what I've seen. I mean, you're having Claude do it. You're not having to learn it, so.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But
First,
that'd be a way you could go if you're wanting to put it where people run it on their desktop versus in the cloud.
I would assume that would be easier, faster, push updates, sync, they get updates. I'd have to think about the data up, like when they persistent data to like save it per se. I'm sure there's a
Yeah.
way, but versus them doing Docker install scripts, because
So what's
like
the Docker part doing? Or, I mean, if you don't want to say that on live,
no, it doesn't
because
matter. It's just a
secret sauce.
Docker install scripts, ship it this week. It doesn't really, it's not so much like an app. So that's the other thing. It's not app filling. It's like I want to. It works on any device. No code exposure. Everything's compiled. But then it seems like if I want to make it like an app, like turn it into Electron, and it opens like Spotify or Slack.
Yeah. And then Tari will do that same kind of thing. So like Meatkill has a SQLite database behind it.
Right.
I could put a Proscale, a heavier one. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you could run any kind of that stuff right beside it, or you could technically run it right inside the app as well. It would bloat it a lot more, but I mean, it would set up and run that all for the user, like the install scripts you've got on their local machine.
Yeah. But then it's kind of dependent on how, well, it's not resource intensive. It's not like processing anything. It's just doing calls and just terminal commands. So it's like,
Yeah, I mean, if it's just doing API calls,
yeah, he's not processing anything graphics or anything. So it's like pretty lightweight.
yeah. I mean,
Ah.
in that aspect, I guess.
Well, there we go. Battery.
Oh, there you go. You're back.
Battery.
My question would be, you need to ask your community, would people rather it be online, or they want to be able to have access to it at work, and then at home, and in their office, and then at home, and then have employees access it? You get what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you have someone that wants multiple people or multiple location, then it needs to be web.
Yeah.
But if someone's wanting just singular access, where it's just they're going to only use it on their laptop and they don't want multiple people, then the desktop might be better. So it depends on who you're catering to as well. Like if you're catering to just one single user and they're going to be in their office all the time and using the same equipment, then going desktop
Desktop.
might be the right way. But if you're seeing that a lot of these people are traveling, but they don't have their equipment with them per se, or they're having other people might want to log on. I mean, it sounds like a lot of the people you're working with probably have the same equipment with them all the time, their laptop, and they're wanting it. The catch with that is, though, they just need a way to be able to back the stuff up so that if their laptop goes kaput or something, they just have a way to not have to reset it all up again.
Hence
I mean,
the
that's
cloud.
the same on the VM too, though, unless the company unless Railway or whatever it is does backups for you. But
It's in the cloud, basically. I mean, yeah, it's backed up data there. What's up, Alfredo? Good to see you. Yeah, that's the
hello.
interesting thing. Yeah.
That's where Backblaze comes in, and it's just set up Backblaze to back it up. I mean, there's pros and cons on both sides.
Yeah, and Backblaze is nice. I mean, they'll do everything. I mean, they have I like their computer backup, where it'll just make a mirror of your computer and simple snapshot. That's actually really cool.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, trade-offs. This is helpful. Very helpful. Yeah, I was just
Yeah,
thinking
I've been
how.
working on that for about 3 or 4 weeks, trying to get my terminal app where I could make it where I could push updates. So I could give it to people.
Mm-hmm.
So when I did, I could push updates to it without having to say, hey, delete it, and here's a new copy. You know? I'm like, there's a new copy. go to the website, download the new copy, delete the old one, and here now import all the new information. I'm like, no one wants to do that.
Too much work.
No one,
Way too
yeah,
much
no one
work.
wants to do that. I was like, I need to write an updater to this thing, so I need to figure out how to do this. Like, I generally in my head know how they work. But I was like, I need to have work with Claude and go through the process and figure out how to make this work. So, but yeah, that's what I would recommend. Is you probably will have to go back to your GitHub in that way, but you won't have to have people all in the GitHub, because you can set up the read access to an update URL and only show the releases to that URL, and have the code, your platform, call that, just do like a ping to that once a day, or when they log on to it, or every time they log on, just do a ping to it and be like, hey, is there a new update? Or every 24 hours or every 6 hours, have it do a ping. Hey, is there an update? And then just have like a message in the bottom corner or somewhere on the site, a toast or something pop up and be like, hey, there's a new update, click this. And then have Claude figure out what process needs to happen for the update, and then do the back. I would highly recommend just doing talking to Claude about best practice for backing up before the update, running the update, and then letting the person use it and see if the person wants to keep the previous version. So if they want to go back to it, or if they want to, delete it after 24 hours or immediately delete it. That's up to them. But,
Yeah, it's a trade-off.
anyways.
Interesting. I like it. It's a good challenge. Game fun. So if you wanted to push updates to Mikhail, like, could you do it right now? Like, is it like a server call, but you would just do it all in your code base, basically? Make a call to the server to basically get an
Yeah,
update.
I was writing it for Meatkill as well. So same kind of thing. You would go through, and when you got to the license page, it said, so if you didn't go through the website and buy a license, and somehow you just were able to get to the download page without buying a license, it would say type in your username and password or put your license key. And the username and password would go into the website and check to see if you're valid and automatically pull your key for you. Or you could put your license key in there and it go to the website and validate that you had a key.
Nice.
Now, I was building my own system. I know you're using one, so you could probably ask it through the system you're using to do the same kind of thing, which would probably be a lot simpler. But I was building my own, so I said validate username and password or validate key. If that exists, then let the person in and then finish the process, and then they can start using it, and then just whatever the process typically is. I was like, Claude, what's the typical process for checking a person's license? I was like, I'm gonna have a monthly plan, on the person, or if I had a one-time buy, or how does this work? And so it walked me through that. And it's like, just ping once a month or whenever their bill is coming up, ping them a couple days before and then ping them on the day. Make sure that they've paid, and a couple days after, and just ping and make sure all that's good. And then that's how you just run that part. So pretty much. I mean, it will do all the mechanics inside, so there's no reason to explain more than that. But yeah, that's how I was doing the licensing for it and a lot of these other applications.
Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, it's a fun. I like it. It's like trying to figure out, it's called solve a problem, and then trying to get it deployed and trying to. It pushes you.
This
It's so
is
interesting.
the technical parts that a lot of people, like you've said, and a lot of people say, is they'll get on Claude and the vibe code something. They're like, oh, I have this cool little app. But then they get to this part and they're like, how do I do licensing? How do I give it to people? How do I? And then it's all these little things. How do I keep the security? How do I get it on a website? How do I do updates? And that's all these things without being in the industry or know any of this stuff. This is the pieces people don't know. And this is where I was saying the other day, that's where the 15-page chapter thing that I would spend like an hour like walking through with ChatGPT, which I'll have to put together, officially try to continue to work on and put together at some point. So, because that walks through all this part too, like how to build your licensing out, how to do SEO, how to do, how to scale your app, talk a lot about scaling, how to do security, like all these different steps that are the things that people need to know.
Yeah, there's so many levels and trade-offs and different paths. I mean, like anything software development, there's more than one way to like solve it. And then it's just trying to figure out what's the also beginner workflow that's like easy, reliable for them to get up, deploy. What are the topics, security to know, like prompt injecting, all the little fun stuff. But yeah, it's just going through that process, which is exciting.
Absolutely.
It's interesting. Yeah, now is such a great time to be vibe coding and building. It's
Oh
like
yeah, I'm having way too many ideas and don't have enough time. More so, I don't have enough credits.
the credit thing. Oh, they got us by the credits. That is, they're so good. But yeah, there's so, I mean, I want to experiment with other coding models outside of Claude. Try Kimmy's up there. Quinn's coming out with a new one. Um, Test them out and see. Something a little
I
bit
keep
different.
trying the local models, even on the. I've tried a couple 20. I've tried a couple 8 billion, 12 billion. I've even tried a couple 20 billion, Quinn 20 billion models. Locally, I can't get them to do barely anything. Like they still seem pretty compared to Claude. I'm just so used to Claude. I think like that they just can't compare. And I
Hmm.
mean, and to me personally, other people have had different experiences. To me personally, Gemini and
Hmm.
ChatGPT and all the other ones, they're like nowhere near what Claude can do. Like
Yeah,
when
that's true.
if I do anything with ChatGPT, it's writing HTML. I personally will not touch Gemini with a 10-foot pole just because every time I've tried to use Gemini, when I've tried to get into a problem with it and started getting hard, it just said, I don't know the answer and said, I give up. It literally told me, I give up, I can't give you the answer, and stop chatting with me. So that tells me it model just couldn't do what I needed, and Claude's never said that to me. It's always been able to solve my problems. And even crazier, I've never had to be on Opus either. I've only had to be on Sonnet.
That your other experience was my Opus experience. I was like, oh, Opus is not doing what I want. Or no, it was Codex. I was thinking of ChatGPT
Yeah.
Codex, and I was like, oh, you're stuck, and we're not solving this. And Claude came in and was like, oh yeah, here's the problem. And I was like, you understand? You can solve better. Done. Done.
And that's why Sharp. I mean, that's exactly what I just said. Was I've tried Gemini several times to have it code something, and I said, okay, why can't you solve this? I said, okay, well, let's try it this way. And so it would try to solve it, and it'd say, I don't know how to solve this. I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, well, I gave it the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, okay, well, let's think outside the box, and let's try this, this, and this. I even tried to give it the answers per se, and it tried it and still couldn't figure it out. And it finally said, I'm sorry, I can't help you with this problem. There is no answer. And when I
Nice.
said, well, there is an answer and we need to solve it, and it was like, nope, I can't help you anymore. And every time I like typed anything in the chat, it's like, I can't help you. It literally was saying, I can't help you, I can't solve this. I had
This
to end the
is
chat and just move on. And like
interesting.
Codex, I, I, I've just heard too many things that I don't want to put too much information into ChatGPT, and I'll leave it at that. I'm not
Hmm.
getting into that subject matter, but I just don't put too much of my information into ChatGPT or too many of my ideas. So we'll move on from that subject.
Yeah, it's you gotta watch
But
ChatGPT
yeah,
and
Claude's the
like
best.
Claude is all hail Claude. We are all paying the Claude tax. If you're not donating to Claude and Anthropic's 17th yacht.
And so here is why Claude's the best. In a 9-month period,
Hmm.
I have built a How much is Claude? Depends on how
20 bucks.
deep you want to go.
You can't say
You can
20
start
bucks.
off,
It's like 40
yeah,
bucks.
you
Like
can
you
start as
gotta,
cheap as $20 a month on the pro plan,
but you're gonna burn through that
or you can go as
fast.
deep as $200 a month.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna
But you
go
can start at
fast.
$20. They even have a free plan. You can even start free and do some basic stuff and kind of figure it out. My
Mm-hmm.
daughter, I didn't even realize it. My daughter had heard me talking about Claude, and I didn't even know there was a free account. My daughter, and I've told you about
Really?
it,
Oh,
Jonathan.
yeah.
My daughter had heard me talking about Claude. I didn't even know it was a free account, and I'd heard people talking about it, and I could never find it. She found it. She got on it and started coding some little text-based games and stuff, and some other stuff. And she showed me some stuff, and she was on the free account. And she liked it enough. She ended up buying into a paid account now and so do a lot cooler stuff with it. But I mean, my daughter
So,
is doing stuff with Claude and coding stuff on it with the more expensive account. But if you want to test it, there is supposedly a way to get. I still can't figure out how. I've got to ask her. I keep forgetting. But yeah,
she's got the
it's definitely
sauce.
Claude's the way to go. I have built replicas of Superbase and Lovable. I have built my own LLM systems. I've built my own terminal systems. I've built, I mean, pretty much I've built all kinds of things with Claude just playing around, and you can dream it. It pretty much can build it if you can find out how to explain what you're wanting to build. Now, I have 20 years experience in development, so it helps me because I know how to tell it what I want. So that helps. But as you work with it, you learn how to talk to it better and tell it what you want. So,
The battery may or
yeah,
may not
back
die.
to you, Jonathan.
The battery may or may not die. I'm over here just keeping the ship afloat. There we go. I'm just trying to keep the ship afloat. So the battery's going to die soon. It's going to die any minute. But Claude is the best because, yes, it can take anyone with very beginner or average skill set or even a senior experience. And what they're able to build in a fraction amount of time with such less bugs and iterations when compared to most of the other tools, that's why Claude is the best. You can iterate faster. Why is it the most best tool? Because when compared to all the chatbots, LLMs, when it comes to something that can actually produce something of value, like software, that is insignificantly valuable as like a tool that you can use to vibe code and create tools, apps. Like you are now at the level of a software developer and you can build and like name your price. Like that's, you can build software as a whole, like very interesting world. But yeah, that would be it. So I'm happy to play COD. I'm actually signing up for Grok right now because Grok has a free plan, and I have a portion in my AI app, the content app, that you can upload a bunch of videos and it will automatically transcribe them, write captions, and then upload like at 5 at a time if you want. And Grok has a free API where they'll transcribe and they'll give you like, I don't know, it's like an hour a day or something like that for free. And then Whisper from OpenAI would be like the backup. What software should you build? Solve a problem in your work or life. Think of a tool, a calculator, an estimator. You press a button and it does your work. Something that takes hours should take a button press. That's what your project is. And then go for Claude. That's the easiest. It's like, it all starts with the problem first. That's the biggest thing. So it's like, and then it's like in the community, we're going to teach anti-gravity. And I'm like, I don't want to teach you anti-gravity. You guys are going to hate it. You have a bad experience. You guys like, John, I hate anti-gravity. That was a waste of time. And I'm going to be like, yeah, we should have spent more time on Claude. eh.
So
Interesting.
you're
Where's the
saying
key?
you're wanting to get into Grok to use it for what? And then you're using Whisper as a backup for.
So I'm adding more features to the app, so it never ends. But one of the features is already built. So if you record videos on TikTok and it's you actual organic, you airdrop them to your computer. So now you have like, let's say 10, 20, or 10 1-minute videos, for example. With my content automation app, Cam, there's now a feature where you go click open, select all the files, And once you open them, you're done. It's going to go through an automatic process to upload them to R2 for transcription or for storage, then send them to Grok to get transcribed to extract the text for free. And then that text will then go to, I think, Open Router with probably Gemini 3 to write all the Gemini 3 Lite because it's so cheap. That's so great for writing captions. And then at the very bottom, it would do, and then it will automatically schedule to upload. So you could take those videos, boom, drop them in the folder, and you're done. It will transcribe, schedule to upload 3 times a day, every day. Yeah, I know. That's, yeah. But so right now I'm just signing up for a Grok API key, which I could have swore I thought I had another one.
So you're saying Whisper will do that for you as well?
Yeah, it's a backup if you're just like, yo, I just want to pay for a reliable video transcription service. OpenAI has their own Whisper transcription, and it's stupid cheap. To transcribe 1 hour of video is like, I think it's like 50 cents, something like that. It's like super cheap. And I just realized I have API keys in another env file.
I was wondering if the downloadable Whisper model, you can run it on your computer. You can even run it locally. If it does the transcribing, I know that's what I use for Meet Kel. You know how I was doing the voice to text?
Oh,
I
yeah.
use the Whisper. I use Whisper. I use the Whisper.
It's
the
super
model.
lightweight. It's super lightweight and small.
Yeah, it's only 1 billion. It's only like a gig big. So I was just trying to think of if it did the caption stuff too. I was wondering if that was only the voice to text or if they had all the caption stuff in there as well. So I was about to go ask ChatGPT and see if it had the text stuff in there as well.
And for Mr. Sharp, now that I know, thank you for sharing. Facilities, building efficiency and facilities is what you're doing for building automation, solar, vacuum automation, maintenance automation. So those things, like for sure, it would be NAN. Then, because you probably have some data silos, a couple different software that just needs to connect to each other, some triggers. That would be the first level of automation. That would be like super fast and easy. Mostly probably some other software. Some information is probably just not digitized. Some things are probably manual, like project trackers, task managers, operations. Probably don't have SOPs. Then, like after NAN automations, and then after I go into a department and then digitize everything by putting things into like trackers or like think like ClickUp, stuff like that. So everything's like systemized, automated, routine for the human processes. That takes care of the humans. Put them in Asana or I prefer ClickUp. That's for humans. And then for the automations, level 1 NAN, and then level 2 anything that's like super bespoke or complex. I'm gonna go straight to Claude, and we're gonna scope that out. Take the things that have the highest, that are taking up the most time, employee time. List those out and start tackling one. It's like one a month, one maybe every 2 months, because you got to build, test, implement, train, monitor, and then that's offered. Then you could take a task that takes hours or days in 2 seconds and minutes. Remove the human from the loop. And 2 tools, NAN and Clockcode. I need a cleaning automation and a fleet of vehicles. Now you're getting into robotics. The robotos,
So
which are going to
the
get interesting.
downloadable Whisper model can do captions.
Yeah, but the whole thing was, again, everything had to be in the cloud, and I was like, man, you guys want the cloud everything? I'm like, okay.
According to this, you can run it on a just RAM and a CPU only. Now, it probably is going to be, it'll be slower, but then they wouldn't have to pay for it. But at the pennies you're paying, I mean, most people aren't going to care.
Yeah,
They want speed.
to add this stuff and the API stuff, people are like, oh my God, so many APIs, 10 APIs. Like I'm adding 2 more now, so technically we're at 12 APIs. But once the APIs are hooked up, like then you guarantee their services will work for what you need,
Yeah.
and you don't have to deal with like the Hagen avatar. I don't have to deal with avatar stuff. Grok or them, like, and then you're just trying to optimize the cost. That'll be another thing, but get it working first and then optimize later.
Yeah. Which
More.
I'm going the opposite route. I'm like trying to run all of the stuff. I'm trying to see if I can make all that stuff run locally instead.
And that's the goal. Is like if this was all my stuff and this was my app, I'm happy local. There's no need to like have this cloud based like desktop app. I was rocking it. And I was like, it was only when we went to cloud that all this extra headache came into play, and I was like, my desktop app, I just load it, VS Code, click Python run, it comes up, data saved. I close it, done. I'm done for the day. Like solved. Hook up your API keys and the env file. I'm like, that's so much easier, but I don't want to give people the source file, so it has to be like wrapped or protected. Cost gets super interesting. I don't know, I think maybe I'll be able to present, I think on the 29th, to a bunch of techies. And then there's the Alibaba's Quen, some representative is going to be there.
Oh, cool.
So it'll be interesting because this is like a monstrosity of a app, but it's getting good. It's getting
I
there
mean, you
refined
got the whole process automated. I mean, that's stellar.
for less than $5. Whole
Yeah.
human out, automated, done, click it, high quality. Like the enhancer was only like 2 pennies to make it refined, more high quality. And like the cost is interesting, but it has the infrastructure that now, or let's say it has the components that now you could just swap and sway or swap in place. I could be like, make something with no avatars, just b-roll only. Make one with an avatar, just avatar talking only, and then you can mix and match. Or I mean, and then the HeyGen, you could get crazy because it's just a nano banana image. So you can put your character in whatever fictitious with the backgrounds. HeyGen will animate the background. He will put B-roll actors in the background, and I'm like, what? Wow, how did you do what?
Like,
Okay,
at least
HeyGen.
not the person like doing the money exchange.
I'm like, oh, you can really like prompt this really. They just don't make it. There's just no 9x16 version. That's my downside. The only 9x16 version is if you actually train your avatar, which is a whole headache.
Oh yeah.
It's only a 1080 by 1080 output. That's why I do the blur effect.
Gotcha.
Which, that's the hack. It's interesting. Founder IQ, what's up? Yep, these are the late night vibe coding sessions to
Absolutely.
get the things you're working so that tomorrow the machines, the apps, because I see potential in software right now. We're still like 2 years ahead of everyone. Of like everyone's still in ChatGPT basic world. They're like, what's a prompt, and like what's the difference between ChatGPT and anything else? Everyone doesn't know. Oh, and then I think credit to, what's his name? He's the monotone automation guy. I'll come back with his name. He did a great video of why Claudebot is total
Oh,
BS.
yeah, Clawbot's been blowing up everywhere.
But there's a whole backstory to it. So it was pushed by some cryptos group, and Claude sent them a cease and desist, but there was an open window where the domain was open. So that's why they pushed a bunch of influencers to ramp up, and paid a bunch of influencers as well too to start promoting Claudebot. And then there was a Claude coin that did a pump and dump. Um,
Yeah.
and then because like everything that's put on, I mean, all it is just Claude Opus wrapper with Telegram, and then it runs 24/7, but it chews through API credit. Like to have Claude
Oh
running
yeah, Opus
24/7.
does.
Like, let me just light money on fire. Like that would be more efficient. Like,
Oh man,
holy
I don't
jeez.
know how it happened. Somehow Opus got turned on, in my terminal last night. Yeah. And so I was working and it got turned on and I burned through all my credits in an hour on all 4 of my accounts. Well, 3 of them. I burned through all my credits on 3 of my 4 accounts in like an hour. And I was like, what in the world just happened? And I had 1 account left. And I was like, what in the world just happened? And I happened to look in one of the terminals and it said Opus. And I was like, when in the world did that happen?
Oh, that's interesting. I would never have figured that. That would have
Well, I
been
mean,
a thing to happen.
I just didn't understand why my accounts burn so fast because it said 3.5 hours left, and I've never burned through them that fast. I usually might have like 3.5, 4 hours,
Hmm.
and it was like usually I have like maybe 2 hours left on one, but then I have 3 more left.
Hmm.
So like I've had 4 different projects I'm doing on 1 account, which makes sense why I've burned it hard, you know. But I have 3 more. So by the time I burn that one all the way down, I've gone through in a daisy chain the other 3. So when I come back to that one, I might have like 10 or 15 minutes left. I've never
Gotcha.
burned all 3 in 3 of my 4 that fast. So anyways, luckily I caught it. I was like, oh man. So, man, yeah, Opus burns them like insane.
He's hungry. Hungry, hungry.
And I'll be
Credit
honest,
him.
I don't feel like I saw any difference in what it did from
No.
what the work it did last night than what I've been doing today or the other things I ask. I mean, I know other people say
It's overkill.
that they feel like they see a difference, but I mean, everybody's different. Everybody sees a difference in different things.
It's so overkill. Like,
Yeah.
even Haiku, I should switch over to Haiku just for fun, just to see how
I've
well.
thought about switching to Haiku a couple times to just see if I could handle me on my level, just because I can give it such specifics. But then I worry about it, even though it is just like a 5% step down, I'm worried that 5% will be the differentiator that will be the thing that will miss what I'm working on.
Him not looking holistically because the context window at all the code base to see that bug actually exists 4 other places that he should probably correct, but he's not. So it's like, okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
How interesting.
Yeah, that's the other problem with running local too. Is I didn't realize this either. When I run the models, you also got to have enough room to run the context with them.
What do you mean you have to run the context with them?
So when you load the local model in the VRAM, you're loading just the model. The context memory part is not included as part of the model. So you know how Claude has like half a million context, or they're talking about getting to 1 million. That's separate from the model. So when I'm in LM Studio and I load one up, by default it's only running 4K of context. So when I beef that up to 16K, when I run a 8 or 12 billion model on top of 16K worth of context, 16,000 worth of context, when you go 1024 times 16, you hit your VRAM or go a slide over on a 16 gig card.
Oh, that's
So
huge.
if you go to 32, you definitely go over into your RAM, which then slows your process down. But think about it. If you open a file that's 30 megs, 30,000, 30K, you just ate your whole context.
Yeah, that means that context was the whole thing. On average, they're like 200K is like an average of the small models. Bigger ones, a mil, but that's expensive. That's your 3, your
And the
Haiku.
more of it you take into your RAM, the slower the model's going to roll, even though the model's in your VRAM. Since your context is in your RAM, it still has to access your RAM, so then it's going to be 4 times slower.
That makes sense.
So it's I've been tweaking. I've had long conversations or long analytical conversations more so. Claude's been sitting there just crunching the numbers about what's the perfect setup. And then it's still like the best it can do is like 16 or 32K worth of context on like a 8 or 12 billion model. And it's like, what good does that do me when files are, 10 and 20K? Because by the time it reads one in, it has to summarize it and then read another one. Hey, Paint.
Hi, Sarah.
Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, Sarah. I was gonna say, I
Don't worry.
remember
Like,
people's real names half the time.
it's trying to remember like like that to names is like it's like next to impossible. It's like I think I just have photographic memory. It's like remember everything.
I used to do so much better. Yeah, it's just been the last 2 years have been awful.
Oh, you're gonna vibe code a Star Trek pin that you just like doot, doot, and you're like AKO, add to reminders, do, and it actually works like what Siri's supposed to do. I'm gonna change the
Yeah,
name
yeah,
soon.
it's going to get there. That's what's going to happen. It's just going to remind me of everything. Because that's like partially what my wife half the time does. I'm like, what is this? What is this? I don't remember this. Remind me of this. What did I do? What did I eat for lunch today? What did I do today?
No,
What
seriously,
happened 5 minutes ago?
I have a meticulous habit of just writing everything down in Notion or TickTick, and that's what saves me. It's like I can recall facts, details, but it's everything after 5 minutes. I'm like, forget it. Don't want to think. I don't know. Forgot about it. Walk out of meetings. I don't know what we talked about. So like I rely heavy, especially for like complex it's mostly for the ADHD. Like I have to like document this like routine of everything. Everything has to be SOP, step by
Oh, yeah.
steps. But from that, I don't get overwhelmed. I don't get like burnt out. I don't want to say burnt out, but I don't get overwhelmed of like, what do I have to do or anything. It's like I have 50 things to do, but they're all in TickTick. They're all organized. Everything is step da 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 da. And then the best part, and we tested it today. I I bookmarked. I gave someone my Notion job tracker because they're going through the job search, and
Oh, okay.
so I use Notion as a Notion's the best for like a job
Oh,
tracker,
yeah.
and then because when you look at a job application, you could click the Notion extension, it will
Yeah.
dump it in, and then it will instantly save all of the notes from that job listing. And so I was giving it to them, and while we were in there, I was like, "Oh, look, here's a job I was trying to apply in 2023." And I was like, "Oh, this is how you keep your notes." And right at the top, it was like ChatGPT conversation. And I was like, "Oh, let me click on it." I don't think that would link would be active. Sure enough, conversation from 2023 came up right there, and I was like, "How gangster that I can recall all the details, all the facts, and the link." Instant recall with no effort, no extra capacity wasted on my mental thinking. That's why I love Notion. It's like it's hot potato, take the 5 seconds. I just wish Notion had voice to text. Like Notion was just an orb. I just want Notion as like Siri orb, and then I voice to text, and it's Mikhail basically,
Yeah.
and I don't have to
That's
deal.
the idea of Mekel. It's the next step from Notion.
Yeah, I'd
And
rather
that
have a Mikhail around. Like,
Yeah, and that's where the browser automation piece comes in that I'm building out, and why I stopped working on Mekel as a brain. Because you can
mm-hmm,
have a brain all day, but if the brain don't hook to anything or does anything, it really doesn't have any value. I mean, I had it kind of doing some stuff, but if it doesn't have what it hooks to anything, it has no value. And the
mm-hmm,
big value for me was getting it to where it would be
mm.
the brain to the automation to the internet. Have you downloaded all the previous conversations from ChatGPT? No, I haven't done any of that yet. But that's what I'm getting ready to do. That's what Jonathan was about to hear me say. Is on my browse feature, I just added it where it can download all your bookmarks into it.
Mm-hmm.
Even crazier, there is a button now that if you have your phones on the same Google account as your desktop, you can on your Chrome browser, the browser program I built will actually let you link it all up, and you can download the tabs
Taking you
off
guys
your
up.
phone
Mm-hmm.
to your computer to the application,
Oh.
and all of your bookmarks off your phone to your computer into my application.
Gotcha. That's interesting.
So you can actually access all your history on your Chrome from your on your phone into
Mm-hmm.
your desktop to my application.
Oh. Oh, that's gonna be
So
really
you
handy.
don't just manage history, bookmarks, tabs, and everything on your phones as well, as long as you're hooked on to your Google account, and there's all synced.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because the concept with that is I'm constantly opening up all these tabs on my phone, but I want a way where I can get them off my phone, onto my computer, downloaded, turned into articles, and then have them as accessible where I can say, hey, I saw this article about this thing. I didn't really read it, but it's something now I'm working on. Can you take and summarize all these 3 or 4 articles I saw over this month that I saw this subject on and give me a summary of what they were all about so we know which ones I need to read, or you just look at, because I know they're the subject matter that we need to target and use for building out this thing. Instead of having 800 tabs on my phone.
Yeah, it's
Downloading them every 3 months.
yeah, it's consolidating all the information. It's just trying to create a notebook LM for your life. That you just dump all the information in there and you can just recall, chat, extract. Like, give me notebook LM for life. For everything.
Exactly. You're exactly right. It literally is the same concept as Notebook LM. The difference is it's got context and it's just got more abilities to
Better
it
memory.
than Notebook LM. Yeah,
Better
it's got
memory.
memory.
It's more
It's
interactive.
got context, subject matter, and memory to what it's doing for.
I think it's great. Like, it's so handy. I think it was, again, perfect for like a Alexa like interface. That would be like really dope because it's like, again, most people just needed always listening to where it's like, hey, just need you to remember reminders, groceries,
That's why I'm
details.
doing it for myself. Hey, remind me of doing this. Remind me to do this. Hey, can you just write this down for me? I need to be able to do this later today. What do I need to do today? Oh, okay, these are the things I need to do today because they're on my list. Oh, on my computer, I have like 7 projects I'm working on. Instead of having 7 windows open with 50 browser each, and I'm using 35 gigs of memory and just Chrome, I can have just one of those windows open with 50 tabs, and the other 6 can be shut down. But instead of bringing them back up and not knowing where I was at, because they were bookmarks, this thing, not only the browser program, not only kept the tabs and them grouped, but it kept a history of every thing that I opened and closed during the history of that window. So I can go back through the
Wow.
history of everything I researched.
Jesus, interesting.
So basically, you're creating a session for your project. So you say this is a project, it brings up a window, and you just do everything you're wanting to do about that project.
I like that.
How's the weather, guys? Exactly. Going super deep. But the concept is automating people's lives. Just getting it where you're automating stuff on your computer. Exactly. Painting
Well,
the
everyone
weather.
else, like the other Sarah, your guys are all on generators. California doesn't count. California's in a weird world. California
I'm
doesn't
pretty sure we
exist.
can't get out of our, like I messaged you, we can't get out of our house.
Yeah, who's I talking to? I forgot one person I was talking to today. They're like 10 foot in snow. You're in Turkey and it's flooding. Ooh, Turkey's beautiful. I would love to go visit
Be
Turkey.
safe.
And then,
Yeah, we're on generator and we've got power lines across our driveway and we're out in the middle of the mountains. So it could be another 3 or 4 days before they come fix the lines, so we can't get out right now. I was just letting her know. So, but hey, we're okay. I'm working on health issues, so I'm not working right now. My parents are retired, so we're not needing to go anywhere. We've informed our neighbors, so if we had an emergency or if we need to get something, they can go get it for us, or we could walk down the hill and we have people that could probably pick us up, or we'd figure something out. So we have options if we need to do something. So.
just text me if you need anything. I don't know what I can do,
we
but I can
talk.
find stuff. So, make it 75
I'm
in
just glad I'm
Arizona.
not trying to work or have
You don't have to
more
commute. It's like,
focus
oh,
in life. But
thank God you don't have to commute. It's like, oh,
yeah. Well, I got out of that rat race probably over 10 years ago. Luckily, I got out of it 1 year before COVID. I was very, very fortunate. I got
That's
out
right
of
at
it the
there.
year before COVID. I switched to remote. Now, mind you, I got out of it because I was running off the road, falling asleep. So I said, I have to change from working in a 9 to 5 because I'm falling asleep on the road and my life's not going to be here much longer. And me and my wife agreed. So I've got to get a career working remote. But at that point, I had 10 years of experience in IT, so I should be able to, is our thought. So we made that work.
Good call.
Anyways, we made that work, and we had some people help us, and I got out of remote, and I was able to work. So.
I do.
See that?
You're not alone, Apricot. I miss people. Like, I'm a people person. I didn't realize.
No, I loved working in the office. I'm not going to say I loved working in the office. I loved going to lunch with people. I loved meeting my co-workers.
It's just the
That
commute,
aspect.
the hour-and-a-half commute
Yeah.
of
So driving
grind.
an hour and a half to work every day in traffic, paying more in tolls than gas. I don't miss it. When you pay more in tolls than gas.
Oh yeah, the tolls get. It's
I
just
live in
robbery.
Orlando, Florida.
Oh, that's just extortion. It is just straight. You can't drive it, or it's just.
Also, I found out for developers, Orlando, Florida as a city is probably one of the worst paid places to be a developer. I found that out as well. The cap is very low.
They don't have much of a tech scene. I was just thinking, I
No,
was
they
like,
actually do. They have
I
a pretty
know.
good tech scene. The cap is just quite low. The only places the two places that have the highest cap are EA Games and Disney. EA Games and
yes.
Disney are both there, and they pay decently, but they're not as good as a lot of other places. I'll put it this way: when I came out of Orlando, I was able to jump 30%, 30 to 40% from what I was making. So
You gotta do the career hopping thing and jump from one to the other in order to get a raise. It's like that's the only way to do it. What data sets are image classifiers pre-trained on? I don't know. Outside my expertise. Sarah says people will work for free to put Disney in their resume. Oh yeah, the Disney like dedication, like it is allegiance. It is loyalty. Like there are people that will put their entire. I mean, it's almost like well, it used to be a family thing. Like it used to be generational. Like they had their family and then their kids would also work at Disney too, and it's like now it's all changed. It's all.
I mean, the best thing on the image classifier pre-trained thing, a lot of that is just, the ORCs. So, it depends on what they're trained on to what they're detecting. The more they're trained on, the more they can detect. So, we'll kind of leave it at that. And the Disney thing, yeah, I mean, you're right across the board for most of that. In my area, at least for tech people, several people did work there, but they found that it was best to wait until there was a period where you wanted to work there and make some good money and then move on, because they typically did contract and then they might hire you, but the might was very rare. They usually didn't keep you on board. They'd bring you in as contractor. And I knew people that stayed on as long as 2 years, 6 months at a time. And I knew like 1 or 2 people that were there for as long as 2 years. I don't remember, can't off the top of my head, but my brain's fuzzy because of stuff. I don't remember knowing anybody that converted. But EA was a lot worse. So, I mean, Disney wasn't as bad, but both Disney and EA were the higher payers, but they worked you. The contractor side wasn't as bad because you're paid hourly, so they didn't want to work you crazy hours. But a lot of people didn't want to switch to the full-time because of the crazy hours as well. Because they worked you pretty hard, especially gaming companies. They will drive, nothing against them, but they will drive you in the ground. I mean, they'll tell you that even when you
Yep.
go to the gaming colleges. I was going to go to one. I was going to go to Full Sail in Orlando, Florida when I was in high school.
Oh,
Me
cool.
and my parents drove me down to Orlando to see the school because I was going to sign up to go. But when I saw the price tag and had some health issues going on at the time, and then the price tag, and I already was into coding, I was just like, between health and the price tag and having to pay this back, and then I already know as much as I know, it ain't happening.
Yeah, it's like time to go figure out my own path. Take out that machete. Like, I'm gonna figure out my own way.
They
Yeah.
want $200,000 for for 20 months, a 20-month program.
Oh.
Yeah, $200,000 for a 20-month program for a four-year degree.
I've never heard of. Oh, a 40. Well, Jesus. Wait, 200. Even that is divided by
So let
4.
me see. It was,
50K
at
a
my time,
year?
that came
That's
later
like
on. Hold on,
college.
let me back it up. Let me back
That's
it
like
up.
college.
Let me back that up.
Inflation.
Because that was later on. Yeah, go on.
Keep going. Yeah, I was like,
I'll back it up because that was later on. When I was only going in at the second year they were starting it, which was 2004. Shows how old I am. In 2004, they were offering $120,000 for a 14-month degree, and it was a 2-year. It was considered the same thing as a 2 years of college. And you did it in 14 months, and it was $120,000. Did not count your room and board,
yeah, it doesn't
where
count.
you're staying, your food, your car.
Bring your
nothing
own
else.
beer. Bring your own
Nope.
food.
So by the time me and my parents did the math, paying for my car payment, paying for an apartment, all the other stuff, because they don't have
Yeah, room and
dorms.
board, all
This
that.
place don't have dorms. You're going to spend $250,000, $250,000 in that 14 months to get that degree. I was like, I don't want to own that kind of money for a
Yep.
2-year degree. And the thing was, they basically guaranteed the top 5%, the top 1%, which was like the top 3 or 5 students, a job. And you started it at $50,000, $60,000. I was like, if I paid that back pre-tax, that's still like 5 years of my salary? That's me no eating, me no paying taxes, me nothing. I was like, the math just don't make sense. But yeah, go on with your math, Jonathan.
Apparently, TikTok does not deem this conversation. This live
don't
is
like it,
restricted
hold
from 5 whatever. So, whatever.
What is it? What is it not like about it?
Sure. Whatever, TikTok.
Don't matter. We'll change something.
It's interesting. It's like,
It doesn't deem it good in quality.
we're violating for blah, 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 blah. For what?
Oh,
Like,
jeez.
it's crazy, these things. Wow, have a degree is 3. Yeah. Oh, so Claudebot got in a cease and desist lawsuit from Anthropic, and so they changed the name to Moltbot. I think that's what their name is now. There's one guy, his name is Nick, on Nick Saraviv or Sarah something. Saraviv, I think it is, on YouTube. He did a really good, like, deep dive of, like, the hype around Claude, and I was like, well done. Uncovered, like, the crypto, the pump and dump, and I was like, what is all that? But because it's everywhere. Everywhere is like, I was like, why is this thing setting the internet on fire? Like, it's not. Like, why is this? I get it,
Yeah, I
but
saw it. I was like, this thing's interesting, but I'm just like,
if it was running like all on the puck and completely autonomous, no token, I could see Impress, because the cool thing is like it has full autonomy to do all the work and stuff, which is terrifying, but like I do see like, but through the APIs, like that's just get Open Router. You could do the same thing with some other ones. It's interesting.
well, Sarah, this is what's called a tech. What do you call them? They're specialty schools. They're trade schools. I was going to say tech schools, but trade schools. So it's specialized in certain subjects. So I was going specifically for gaming. I was supposed to say, let me make sure she's still here.
I think she
Like
still
talking
is.
to someone who's not even here.
I do the
it was,
same.
and I'll move on because I don't want it.
Yeah, she's here. Sarah's in the
Anyways,
room.
the school was specialized for teaching gaming, videography, things like that. It was a trading school specialized for teaching specific subjects. And so they had just launched the year before me a 14-month program for teaching how to build video, how to get a career degree in video games. And so we were checking it out, and I was going to go into the class for the second year there. I was going to be the second year that they had it open, but after seeing the price tag and all the stuff and looking at apartments in the area and stuff and health issues and other
Education is
stuff,
too expensive, man. It's like
I
degrees
was
are like.
already building websites for people online. I was
Mm-hmm.
already writing HTML and PHP and CSS. I was already building websites for people online. I mean, so I mean, my thing was, what else do I need to do to get to that level? And I was like, on the other hand, I had done VB when I was 12 to 15, which was the software side. Not I would have had to go from VB to C++, which I knew what that hop was. I was like, I did that for 2 to 3 years, and games take so long to develop. Do I really, and I thought about it later, do I really want to go back to that and wait so long to develop something? Or do I want to stay in HTML and CSS, which I felt was the future, because web, you can build things so much faster, versus software, it just takes so long to build stuff. It's a lot faster now, but back then it just took weeks and months, or months,
Yeah.
to build stuff. And web, you could build stuff literally in days, hours and days. And so my thing was, I like the speed of it, ADHD and all that stuff. I like the speed of it. You could get results faster and things move faster. And I felt it was the vibe of what was coming next. And so, anyways, I feel like I made a good choice in my career with it. I wish I
Shot
would have
fire.
learned and maybe gone more down a Python road. I will agree with that. Probably would have had a lot of more opportunity and a lot more advancements.
Yeah, I
A
learned
lot of better
Python
pay.
earlier, for sure.
Should have switched several times when I had opportunities with Python, but I just really liked PHP, so I kept with it. But it's all good.
The algorithm is like,
Yeah, we'll let you,
Moors
'cause I'm
me.
your side person.
it's
So
like we are training data off John, and then we are training John's avatar clone. So we need John to talk more, so we could clone everything about him, so we could deep fake him and make it look like John robbed the bank or something. And it's like, how did you do it? So I mean, he deep faked himself. It's so good that they just ended up buying his software. So imagine.
maybe they just don't like me either, because I just deleted like all my videos except 3 the other day, because I was reading the TOS thing. It was talking about now we can do whatever we want with all the, with your videos,
I left
with the TOS update.
I left TikTok Studio because it's useless. People get now what's called the white screen of death on
Oh,
TikTok
yeah.
Studio. I saw
That's
another
not
guy
good.
get it, and I'm like, and he just, are you still there? They approve, and they go, and you're like, like you've been banished in the Matrix to like the middle land of nowhere. Oh, Sarah, the avatar is so good for what you could
Here, we'll
spend
see
on
if
it.
this helps. Let me switch back to that and see if that helps any.
Yeah, it's all good. The violation went away anyways. So with the avatar, so we're still using HeyGen, HeyGen version 4. Right now I'm adding a feature. I'm just testing another feature right now. And basically the combination is Nano Banana Pro to do your photos with your headshot. So you upload Nano Banana Pro with your headshot to do any location with the scene. And then I run it through. I'm testing one. It's called Upsampler. It's about Upsampler has it's like 2 pennies, and basically allows you to enhance the details of like skin, and also pores and hairs and detail. It made the most details surprisingly for hands. It's like going from like 480p resolution to like 1080. It's like it makes a big difference.
Oh, I believe.
And then the version 4, the pay that it's not that expensive in relative to like to get the whole body to move. It's not that ish expensive. It's almost like $4 a minute is like which is expensive, but when you think of in contrast to like a human, me doing it, fraction. Before is oh it's expensive. Like if you do just the face, you could drop the cost by 2,100%, for sure. And then that does make a big difference in like the avatar. But then what, at least for me, one where it's just the face moving, it is not impressive. Everyone looks at it and be like, "Oh, shoulders aren't moving, hands aren't moving," or like, "That's fake." And I'm like, "Fine." So I'm like, "Let me spend the minimum extra." So that's like what's because his body movements is like good and like I'm barely scratching the surface of like how far you can take it. Um, so it's pretty interesting. I am burning a lot in credits for sure. For sure. But technically, I'm launching it as a subscription and then launching that to the community this week. So I have a couple members. We've been tomorrow. I'm going to onboard David Camacho in with this automation app, so he could clone himself, so that he could automate. Have you tried Grok for it? I'm down to try Grok's models. It's pretty easy to like add them. I haven't tried them to see, because apparently it's great quality. That's stupid cheap. I'm just trying to get like my models are like VO3. It is expensive, but again, all these things are expensive. But for the prompting, they do make a difference. They do less iterations. I haven't, to be honest, but I've seen some good ones. It's cheaper. It's a lot cheaper. And for what we're doing, like the requirements aren't that special, per se. So let me run a test file real quick. Right now, I'm Frankensteining it. I'm adding a new. Oh, I need a way to delete records actually. Can you delete records too? Also, I need a way to delete records. Here, say it transcribed, it errors. I just need a delete button as well, or a bulk delete would be better. With like a checkbox, I could check multiple records, and then one little button at the top just says delete in bulk. That would be great. Claude ByteDance, which is the best AI model. Depends for what, but Claude right now. Butlane Butane. I don't know why I just call it Butlane. I don't know why. Butane just launched a new one that's meant to be excellent and cheap. They're gonna be cheaper this year for sure. Everything is coming down in cost as far as like a lot of the Kimi models are cheaper. Yeah, much cheaper, which I'm excited for.
Or they're finding new ways to train them to shrink them.
It's very interesting. This is
So
the
that's
kind of
that's what happened with Mikkel was when I was doing the research for it back in the end of November, going into December, whenever I was writing it, there was this new like technique or something, fast paced or triple shot. There's like fast shot or new technique that MIT came out with the paperwork that was from Sony or one of the big companies / MIT. And so Claude had found it for me and found a bunch of this other stuff. And I said, like, mesh all this together in a mix of trying to figure out how to make an LLM for me. And then when I was trying to train my LLMs, and then I was like, also think about this stuff for how to build, rethink how LLMs work. So like going through all this research, so that stuff is probably now been being used, and why the models are dropping. Because this new, I can't remember the exact term, like fast shot or first shot or whatever it is.
yeah.
The concept is instead of you needing like 25 to 30 or 50 items to train a model, or 10,000 or 15,000 items to train a model. It only needs 30,
Oh.
3 to 5 things.
Mm-hmm. That's
So you
interesting.
have a
Some more.
big parent model, and then you have, if I remember right, you have a big parent model, and then you rebuild a smaller model with these 3 or 5 things, and you reiterate over them on top of these new 3 to 5 things, and then somehow it makes it where it relearns all the stuff the big model had, but
Mm-hmm.
condenses it where the new model is like 80% smaller or something. It was, best way I can explain it, I still was trying to like go through and trying to understand it. AI Studio content.
Let's see. Amran is asking, what would you say is the best platform to go to market for AI apps and tools? That's we were just having that discussion. Is it Railway? Is it offline? Like, are you gonna deploy it on an app store? It's like, do you go? Was it? There's different ways. It's that's a tough.
I think it depends on your platform and how your audience and how you're wanting to present it. I mean, that's the true answer.
Honestly,
Is
soft.
where is your audience living? And it was like I was telling Jonathan here. It's where is your audience living? Is your audience a single person that's only needing access themselves, and they prefer it to be more private and being on their desktop? Or are they a person that would rather be in the cloud where they have the access to it everywhere? Or is it a person that they want access to it, but they want a team of people access to it? So with those 3 different phases, those are the kind of 3 things you got to think of on the way you would have to target it, to how you build your platform properly. What'd you do?
It's almost done. But this app is so dope. Oh my gosh. Flip camera. I'm going to turn this into a whole content production tool, basically. So, new feature, upload. I love software. And with this, you upload any videos that you've already recorded, and you can select 1 or 15. I'll just pick another one just for the fun of it. And then click open. And now it's going to transcribe it. It'll start off with Grok, and if I have any, if I run out of free credits from Grok, then it would downgrade to the paid OpenRoute or OpenAI Whisper, which is like super cheap. And then he's transcribing. Once he's done transcribing, in a few moments, oh, he's done. Actually, that was fast. Oh, it's a small file. We click edit. So there's the video stored online, and now every platform has a different caption, all custom written from the transcript for whatever this video is. And now, theoretically, all I do is click schedule now, which we got test. Save. Back to list. This may be a bug that needs to be fixed. Yeah, he's not scheduled. Okay, wait, let's try upload and then schedule. Okay, for sure that doesn't work yet. Oh wait, John most likely needs to be patient. No, that doesn't work yet. Okay, cool. I'll fix that next. But no, he transcribes, it does the caption. I'm like, oh, because I got like 13 videos right now. I'm like trying to just pump out a ton of content. It's
So
like,
cool.
I don't want to pay for ads, so I'm trying to get to like 10 a day, which is like insane. So now I just talked to him. When I click the publish button, it doesn't publish or do anything, but it did render, transcribe, and do the transcription. So far, really good. Oh, and then it's now adding a feature called API credit monitoring, because since there's 11 API credits, for sure one of the API credits is going to run out. So I know, trying to put little alerts for the user to be like, hey, you need to go refill this one. It's only going to free up. Oh, the last 2 weeks have been magnificent. Like, I'm going back to creating content this week, miserable, hate it. But then with the last 2 weeks, to look at the avatar, I'm like, yo, that was so nice. He's so good. He stays, and he's just the start. Like, We tried it with another member in the community who's selling a book for dogs that have that just became blind, and so yeah. So with it, he filled out the profile about his business, and then he clicked generate, generated a script, clicked rendered. 8 minutes later, it did the B-roll only version, and the B-roll only version was perfect. You saw the ideal dog. You even saw a human like doing the instructions from the video. The video was like, you should move furniture, and then the avatar is like actually moving furniture, and I was like, oh, this is great. I just need that. Today we added so to get super nerdy, because I like getting nerdy with you guys, getting you guys the sauce. So technically it's VO3 as the video model, just because it prompts really well. It takes pretty bad prompts and makes them really good. It's like sous vide. Like you can't undercook or overcook sous vide cooking. Like you can't mess it up. That's like VO3 and Nano Banana. Basic prompts, magnificent output. But you're gonna pay a premium for it. Like it's not cheap. Then yeah, I forgot. But that should be very interesting. And Claude is just doing. Now we're just hanging out with Claude. Is that Tom? Tom's in the chat. What's up, Tom? Cause let's see if I bring on Tom. Because I know Tom's been working also on funnels. He's doing at Google. He's brave. He's going all in for Google Ads and go high level,
Oh, that's cool.
which is already. That's the next thing. How do you open a business in high school? Oh, you just start selling. I was selling
Cool.
candy, like as during high school. Like you're
I was
at the
selling
birthday center, can't come out.
printed
Oh,
CDs.
Prince CD. With days where what was it, like $1 a song, and then you'd be like, "Yo, I'll give you a CD, 10 songs, $10."
I didn't do the song part. That was the gray area. So what I did is there was about 5 or 7 kids that did that side, and that was the gray area because it wasn't, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So went up to all 5 all the 5 people that did that side, and I said, hey, upcharge each of your customers for a custom designed CD. So you ask them, do they want a picture of them and their boyfriend or them and their girlfriend and the names of the songs printed on the CD for $5 extra. And then you get the list from them, and then you tell me, you get a picture from them, and you tell me, and I'll print the CD and give it to you the next day, and then you go home that next night and burn it. So you just tell them it's an extra delivery day, or pad how many extra days you want onto it.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up, instead of them all 5 competing and me trying to be another competitor with just an extra business, I instead of trying to be in their business, I just added 5 on top of their business. So I went
Nice.
to all of them and said, and I gave them $1 of it.
That's the way to do it.
So they earned an extra buck, and then I earned $1 because it cost me like $2. So I earned $2. They earned $1. They're like, well, why do you get 4? I'm like, well, it cost me $2. So it cost me 2. I get 2, and you get 1. And they're like, okay, that makes sense.
Simple
So yeah,
numbers.
several people did it, and I was like, I went to the different 5. So I had the monopoly on that side.
There's simple numbers. That's all it takes.
Because I started with the label things, but I was too worried that they'd come off in people's, how people would say they'd come off in your CD players and stuff.
There's always that. It could
So,
stick and
yeah,
stuff.
and a lot of people were starting to do that, and 1 or 2 people did get them stuck in their CD players. We knew 1 or 2 people that did, so everybody stopped doing them. And I was like, okay, I wanted to start doing them, but I didn't because of that. And I was like, there's got to be a better way. And there were people that were doing them, and so 2 different people got stuck in their CD player and messed them up. They had to buy brand new car stereo systems because of that. And so everybody stopped because of that. So I was like, okay, there's got to be an answer to this. So at the time, Epson came out with a printer that allowed you to print on the CDs. It was not cheap, but I saved up enough money in high school to buy it. And
Nice.
so I bought the printer in my senior year of high school and bought the printer, and then I did my senior project on how to be a small business. And then I
Nice.
sold the CDs and just followed the progress.
That's really dope. You got to make it
It
work.
was like $300 for that printer.
Sometimes you just got to lay down the cash. Got to invest in yourself. Got to YOLO. YOLO in business. That's always fun.
Oh yeah.
Always interesting.
I mean, I did that same thing for those Walkman back in the day. Like, you knew to buy the CD player Walkmans.
Hmm.
Like, you knew better than to buy the cheaper ones, the more expensive ones. If you bought them, they were worth it.
I know. It's like the new one sucked. Let's see. Any news? AI, any recent news? Claudebot was a flop. Anthropic released a constitution saying their ethics. Whoop-de-doo. A lot of the Chinese models, they're releasing some new ones within the last week. Kimi is one. And then Qwen released a new one. Qwen, 2 weeks ago, I think, released a new text-to-speech model that's open source and free, and it's really powerful. Apparently, it beats 11 Labs. And then, that's a good one. Agent Avatar. Well, in the video world, Kling 2.0 or Kling Motion, everyone has been ripping influencer dancing videos, taking screenshots of said influencer, replacing the screenshot of the influencer with Nano Banana of another fictitious character, and then replaying their dancing video with Kling Motion, and it maps that photo of that new Nano Banana image of you over that motion, and it will make you or anyone dance. That's
So
some of
in-making.
them. And it does it like really well, apparently. Like from all the stuff I've seen, it's like terrifyingly really good. So they're doing different avatars and stuff. There we go. Prophet reaches results. He's like, I'm doing that stuff right now. That's the workflow. And it's like he's like, I've been summoned. Someone was talking about my workflow. What are you using, Prophet Richard? Because it's like I've seen it done in Higgsfield. That's one workflow. It's a lot manual. Kai AI now has that was a Runway feature before. That sounds better. Yeah, and then actually Runway and Runway also has their own motion tracking one. ChatGPT and Grok. Nice. Very nice.
So maybe you know if this exists then. I came up with the concept the other night of writing an application because I was thinking about it. I don't like how it takes me 15 seconds to make a 3-second video. 15 minutes to make a 3-second video on my setup. And I know how my daughter used to make stick figures and stuff. Or just how you can draw. And I know that's how they used to make animations. So I was like, why can't we just have AI make an application where you could draw on a screen and it would animate and make a movie for you?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
So
What
I
would you
wrote
use?
something where you can draw and it captures and it will actually make the movie from what you draw. Kind of. Not literally from what you draw, but it makes it where I don't want to say too much, but I will have something where you can basically have something on the screen that you can have frames of, and then it'll make the movie from it, and you can make it as long as you want.
I know, we're so impatient. We're like, 15 seconds. My avatar system takes 8 minutes to create a clone of myself.
Or you in your
So
18 minutes.
long. And I have to waste a penny on writing all the captions. Oh my God. It's so weird. Like,
And yours is at least like what, a minute and a half long?
yeah, I cap them. They get expensive. Like if they go up to like 48 seconds, if they go up to like 45 seconds, it could go up to like $4.70, $5. Like you're at the $5 range. If it goes down to like 28 seconds, you could get it down to like $3.30. It's like so
So
it
how long are you making them then? At
I kept mine
28
at,
seconds.
well, I cheat. So now the talking head avatar, just motion only, are like capped at 30, 40 seconds. It's usually about 30 seconds because like most people's attention span are gonna last. The other ones do a lot of B-roll, so then it's a lot cheaper. It doesn't really matter. It's the HeyGen talking motion that's the most expensive. That's like $5 a minute, basically, $4 or $5 a minute, which outrageous. But
Yeah.
there's other APIs. I mean, Kling does lip syncing it's basically photo to lip sync. They have their version. It's apparently cheaper. I just have to test it. So once the system's up and it's fine tuned, swapping out models real easy to like optimize. I wanted to even, yeah, it's gonna be an entire production house.
That is
Should be
awesome.
interesting.
I just thought this would be great because I was sitting there like, man, wouldn't it be great if I could sit there and just draw on a screen as I draw, the frames were rendering in the background. And literally, as you're drawing on the screen and you're just erasing and drawing and erasing and drawing, the frames were rendering for each of the different ones you were doing in the background, and you could make a movie like that, and how fast you can make a movie.
It's
And there is
not
no,
that
like,
far.
when you're doing your Q and video, needing X number of RAM to do it, or X number of VRAM, or X number of specs, because it's doing one at a time. It's not needing a group or a set or the whole length of it.
Yeah, we're not that far away because like what this is like there's some like GitHub repos out there that do like storyboarding like generators. Like it'll take like
I
an
wrote it.
idea. Like that's a thing to do. Like that's what I had to do
Well,
for
I
my
wrote this thing.
I have to fix
That's
my
what's crazy. I had Claude write it. I had Claude code it, and I had my daughter actually make a 30-second video with it.
that's sick. What are the models?
I just had to use one of my local models. I had use one of the local anime models that I had because she
That's
wanted to
chill.
have one of her made-up anime characters.
It's Kimmy K2. That's dope. I think I think it's such a great time. I think family time with AI is such a great time. It's like, hey, let's play with AI together as a family and be like, let's play with different
Yeah,
tools and just what do you want to create? Do you want to do some art? Do you want to create an app? Put some music on, put the fireplace, turn the Matubas, that's what Jonathan has been showing in the last few weeks. Join his community. Yeah, definitely. We're the last 2 weeks we've been doing Claude code, like all vibe coding. It's like I can only recommend Claude because it's like
yeah.
you're gonna have less headaches. Everywhere else is like, and then is Kimi K2 worth the pro $30 subscription or Claude ChatGPT? Just Claude. Yeah, just pay for Claude. Kimi, it's like no, it's too risky because it's like if I'm working on a production project right now, kind of thing, and I'm like, oh, maybe I'll save some credits on like Kimi, or there's also GLM 4.7, that whole Z series. That's a coding. It's cheap. It's like a cheap Claude. Like it's more like a haiku. Um, but again, you pay more in technical debt and more time and iterations, and I'm like, I hear anti gravity is expensive for people. Like they'll start going with it, and then they'll either run out of credits or it gets frustrating. It's
Yeah.
like,
And like with Claude, like you will feel like you need to go to Opus because it's the next model up and you need to go the best. It will eat your tokens for lunch. Just stay on Sonic, and which is the basic standard model that they stick you on. Don't be trying to change models. Stay on Sonic and just kind of work through how to prompt it and work through how to work with it, and you'll learn how
mm-hmm.
to work with it, and you'll be able to get where you want to get. Like that's what Jonathan has done. That's where I've done in my career. You know, as a web developer and been working with it for about 3 months now. That's what I've stayed on. And I mean, I've fallen into Opus by accident a couple times, and I mean, I haven't seen a difference. Some people have, but I mean, I haven't. So I mean, if you just stay with Sona, and which is their regular model, and you just kind of learn how to prompt it and work with it, like you can still get you can get what you need out of it better than any of the other models from what I've seen.
And Claude is kind of slow. Like Claude, you kind of have to work with him,
Yeah.
which is one of the biggest things.
You got to keep him in his rails. Like you gotta say this is the task you're working on, and sometimes you gotta be like, okay, get back on task. Like,
Yeah.
it's
You
it's
have
best to be like, okay, this is the project we're working on to start off with. Like create a folder and like start talking like this is the project we're working on. Let's create tasks or put in the to-do list. Like these are the to-dos, and then like let's work through a flow. Like just kind of talk to it that way. Like itemized. You know, just kind of think of it like that way. Like when you're talking to it, but like, hey, this is the project we're working on, and then these are the things that we kind of need to work through, or ask it, what do we need to work through from A to Z to kind of get an MVP of this? When you get the MVP, then what's the next things we need to work on that would be the next best things? Like just incrementally step through it. That's the best way to work with Claude.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I'm like, it's so close. I think one of the videos got
Oh,
uploaded. So close. It's like almost there. Right now he's just fiddling with the schedule button. So let's see one thing. So just make the button that's on the dashboard match what the schedule button is in the upload tab. Because I pressed the one in the upload tab and didn't do anything. Again. Almost done. He technically works. This new feature is like 95% right. I'm in communications, so a lot of blog writing, making video editing. Well, see, the video editing always varies. Like, what do you video? Like short form, long form. Short form, and my content thing automates that. So short form now can be automated. I don't feel the need anymore to do short form content, because then the other thing becomes, okay, now how does this economically scale up to long form? And that's the key word, economically, because you can have an avatar, and this I could run, but at like $5 a minute, that's expensive. Not that expensive in relative to like other stuff, but technically you can make a shot generator, or you basically create a whole thing. What's special about it? SEO, writing, AI. So the guy who did Eugentic AI, who was doing the AI clone event earlier this week. If you guys missed the event, I have all his handouts. They're really great handouts. They're like really interesting for AI avatar. I should post them. But he was launching a ChatGPT wrapper. Yeah. He was launching a ChatGPT wrapper. I'm sad we lost one member to because they wanted an avatar, and so they signed up for it, and I was like, oh no, you can vibe code your own wrapper and it'll be so much better and it's so much cheaper. Don't pay $97 a month, no. And I was like, with the avatar, and it doesn't do he's gonna charge you 5 to 10K to have you fly out to his studio so that he could get you on the computer to do the HeyGen clone, because he doesn't know about the photo to video and stuff. That he thinks that's the only way to clone is through the browser and through the avatar. So you gotta come to his studio so he can log in. I'm launching my own clone program for clone. Let's go, Sarah. It's the hottest thing right now. Everyone is like, how do I do a clone? How do I clone myself? I can't be on camera. I can't film. Most of it is like medical issues. Like most of the issues that people cover is like, I can't get on camera because of my voice. I can't get on camera because some medical issue, or even they're just busy professionals. They just they're a business owner or they're working other systems, coaches, consultants, freelancers. As I say all these keywords, I'm noticing all the different people popping in and out. It's a lot of AI consultant, freelancer. It's like the words you use actually bring in the attracts the people from the algorithm. His studio fee is $15,000 to $25,000 for one single clone. We're in the wrong business. We're in the wrong. Like, David, you want to get in the clone business? 15K to do a HN clone. He has over 49 people a month paying him to. Yeah, he crushed it on that live stream. It's a plus in marketing. That's why I love him. I love him just for a marketing standing point. It's like I mean, dude knows what he's doing, and so it's a great thing to study how. I mean, he's doing new flavor of the week, but it's like it's great for marketing. Because it's basically was just a giant webinar funnel. That's all it was. Interesting. But yeah, that's now everyone is well, it's not so much cloning. Cloning is super niche. Most people just want to learn more about ChatGPT and how to take it a little step farther. That's most of where everyone's at is like, hey, okay, I hear AI a lot more at work, at where their network is, and they're like, I think I should know a little bit more, a little more. Eugentic is just a fancy boy seasoning system. It's like, but he had 1,600 people on his live stream for the webinar. Like, he paid a ton. He knows how to do Facebook marketing. Really, I mean, he's good at what he does. So that's where I was like, wow. And the presentation was great. The slides were like really high quality. All in all, it's just the problem is when you buy it, you're not going to get the support, and it's going to be like, just another. But coming in, and that's why we gotta give the tools to the people so that they can clone themselves, and then they can create content, and then they don't need Eugentic.
That's why I gotta try the one I told you, Mesh or whatever it is. There's one you can run locally if you have at least an 8 gig VRAM GPU. It's Mesh something. Anyways, you can run your own avatar locally on your computer. So I got to get that and try it so I can run an avatar myself.
Do it. It's.
Oh, I was going to say, apparently you can even use them in live stream if you have a good enough graphics card. That's what I heard.
Which one is that? I would say yeah, because like that's a thing, is like, I mean with the NVIDIA graphics card you could live stream, because I see them when they do it. It's Comfy UI that they're doing it with something in real time with some NVIDIA thing.
Yeah, it's like Mesh something.
And then
I don't remember off the top of my head. I asked ChatGPT or Claude or something. Anyways, ask it, and it was like Mesh something. You download it, and it's part of like one of the gaming or one of those. Anyways, and you can create your own 3D version of yourself that looks pretty realistic. And I said, well, could I use this in a live webinar stream? And like as I'm moving, the webcam sees me, and whatever I'm doing, it mimics. And it's like technically yes, it can like even mimic and like be and do like you, and then but people, instead of seeing you, they see your avatar. I'm like, that is
in real time, and they'll do celebrity face swaps, and they look amazing. Like, I'm like, how are you? I have a couple channels that are like, I save them, and I'm like, how are you getting this quality? Like, I'm like you got to be running your own trained data on your own server to be like, because the resolution is, it's like, oh really? Like service?
Not necessarily. It was saying that Mesh, whatever it is, I'll have to get it now. I'll have to ask ChatGPT real quick just so it can tell me. It said to run the Mesh just to make the avatars like 8 gigs, but to run it in real time probably takes a lot more. But the initial, just the service itself was like 8 gigs just to create your avatar. So I don't know if you use it in real time, can it run it off that? Or if you have to have more to run it off that.
That's not bad to run it live. Yeah, because live... Like, I'm sorry guys on YouTube. I apologize to everyone on YouTube. the screen was all messed up. Let me just stretch this out for a second. I figure out how to make this a little bigger.
And the iBoth, or sorry, the name. Is it worth it to do Mac AI? So yeah, you can do AI on Mac. The laptops and stuff, you can do very basic AI models depending on which one you have, how much RAM you have, and what GPU you have.
There we go.
You can also, if you have the Mac Mini Towers, depending on which one you have, you can run pretty good stuff. I've heard if you can get into the Mac Minis and even stack them, they're saying that the RAM on Macs can be turned into VRAM, so your speed won't be as good as a 4090 or a 5090, but you can go up to 192 gigs of VRAM on a Mac Mini or a Mac, and you can run really big models. They're just slower than if you were to run them on like a 5090, of course. But I mean, a 5090, the best you're going to do is like 32 gigs of RAM. So the pro is you can run a lot bigger models. They're just not going to be as fast. But I mean, you can run like 80 billion and 120 and 150 billion models because you can turn so much of your RAM into VRAM. So, I mean, I can see huge benefits if you got into the Mac Mini space, and especially if you start stacking them and clustering them, you could do some pretty cool local homebrew stuff.
That's what they're doing now, is they're stacking a lot of them, and then that's what was it Chuck? Surfer Truck, his name?
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it depends on...
I'll be right back, 1 second.
It depends on what
Keep
you're wanting
talking.
to do. So...
I agree.
So he is Dr. AI, Jonathan Acuna here. He uses VS Code
AI
and has
take over the world.
Claude plugin, and that's where he's doing his coding.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where he's built the app that he is messing with right now. I was just kind of answering his question while he stepped away. I'll let him take back over.
No, you're a blessing, David. You truly are. Let's see. We got a lot of interesting people. Luke, Claude Skill. Yeah, you're pretty much just going to be having a huge MD file with all of the project workflows. Morning. How does it worth it to learn? Yeah, I would get a heavy duty Mac, like 64 gigs, like 128 terabyte RAM, like, yeah, just beefy. But I would have a separate server. Like, I would have a Workhorse server that would have all of this self-hosted. Like, no need to play this. I'm going to make a desktop version of this app just for myself, honestly, because it's just so convenient.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's so fast and easy. It's like,
I mean, it
it's
wouldn't hurt to
interesting.
have both. Some people might want to just run it locally, you know, and even just for yourself, you could have the desktop and the web version. You could have both.
It seems so. But then, like, they would have a settings page, and in that settings page, they would add their ENV API keys, or add their API keys. But I feel like that wouldn't be like as secure as putting it into an ENV file, or would it know to save it to its own little mini ENV file or something like that?
No, the ENV file would just live in the file right beside where the desktop app was. You could have it coded that way.
Is that safe though, to have their ENV file outside on a separate file?
On their computer? I mean, it's on their personal computer.
That's true. I mean, if they already got on.
It's not any worse than having your password in a file on your computer. I'm not saying do that, but people do it. You know, I mean, you have your social security numbers, hope not, but you know, your driver's license and all that stuff, all your numbers on your computer. You know, I mean, we have our pictures of our driver's license, our kids, and every other thing on our computer. So, I mean, you know, why not?
Yeah, everything's the same. And for Sarah, yeah, it's that's why I love TikTok was like quick for the conspiracies. They're like, Big Mac was trying to just sell a bunch of mini Macs because they weren't selling. So they're like, let's come up with this Cloudbot thing. Would have been brilliant. It's like just like uh, the weather we're having.
Oh,
It is interesting. It is interesting. They have a cool MCP server feature and it can run on Docker. Yeah, I think Docker is like I think that's like the easiest because Docker is like you just create the image and then they could just run it on their own
yeah.
Docker
I
container.
mean, people can run Docker on their local PC too. They don't have to put it on Rails. I run
Got
Dockers
it.
on my computer.
Got it. So a Docker image could be either on the then you serve both. Then you kill both, which actually works out because then you could do the Railway template or you could do the
Yeah.
Docker.
Now, I don't know if
Mm.
Windows Home people can run Docker.
Oh, we
I
don't
would
care about
think
Windows. Sorry, we don't care about Windows people.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah. I was gonna say, I don't think Windows Home people can run Docker. They might can, but
Really? Windows can't run. Wait, Windows Home is like restricted from running a Docker instance?
it might be able to. I
Oh, that
mean, I
sucks.
would think so. I just know that Windows
Hmm.
Pro has WSL and has all the virtualization built into it.
Mm-hmm.
It's built capable to do virtualization. You pay the extra $100 for the professional version for it to have all that.
Mm-hmm.
So like when I built my PC for me and my wife 8 years ago, I bought her home and I paid the extra bucks to have me professional because I wanted to make sure that I had WSL and I had all that stuff
Mm-hmm.
and all the networking features. There's a lot of networking features that are included in professional for LAN and all that that aren't included at home for businesses.
Ah, Windows.
Yeah.
Windows. But then again, licensing game I think is the most lucrative. Like that's basically Microsoft's business model, software and licensing. But then they do. I mean, that was their whole business model before SaaS. You would download the software, you get the license, and you just run my Office. Like, the more I talk, the more I just want a desktop app. And then be done with all of this. And I was like, I was happy with my little desktop app. Now this whole web app. I may just force everyone
Yeah.
to do a desktop, which isn't bad because it's like you're gonna do this stuff on the computer anyways. Like you're gonna have your workstation computer anyways, and
But yeah, you could install it as a Docker on your local computer instead of running it nowhere else. You could do it that way.
oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so all roads lead to Docker, and then Docker can go either way from there. That's good to know. I must
Windows
learn the
is a
Docker.
lot. You can do it. It's a little just more pain in the butt. But if this person is on Windows, they can do it. I just don't know about home. But anyways, if they're on home, then they're not trying to. Well, anyways, we won't get into that. So if they're on home on a laptop, they probably need to go get a Mac. Like you've said that, and that's why I don't. I kind of laugh. You know, like we ponder back and forth. We have fun with that.
I'm
So
gonna
we
get a
don't.
Windows at the end of the day of like
Oh,
for
I
to
know.
run a piece so I can run my
Oh, you'll
private. I'll
have
be
so
like,
much fun
David, I
with
need a
that.
good Nvidia card, like, and then plus I'm gonna be like, what's your gamer tag so that we can start gaming on street on Steam, like for sure.
Abs-
The second thing in the business table we're gaming, trying to get DGX Spark, but performance is that wasn't DGX that all-in-one coding agent? It was like your whole coding team, or is that something different? It
I'm
seems
not
like.
sure. I was about to answer his question. Vivo, hopefully I'm saying that right. I have tried
DGX
a
Spark.
lot of local models. I have not found one. I'll put it this way: even
Never mind.
ChatGPT hallucinates, and you know how big it is. So maybe that will answer your question. Sorry, I know that's harsh. I mean, Gemini does too. So Claude's I'm not trying to praise Claude.
It's beautiful.
Don't hear me in that form. But I don't see Claude hallucinate. Barely ever.
That's true.
Like,
I don't
no,
worry
you
about him
really don't
hallucinating.
see it hallucinate. It just knows. Now, what it will do, now, when I say that, what it will do though, instead of hallucinating, it will just go off the guardrails. As in, it will just go start doing stuff it's not supposed to. So you have to catch it. It's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
if you had a kid and it was eating on the table and then it decided to get up and start raiding your crap cabinets. for food. I'm trying to think of a better example, but anyways, the
I
point
follow.
is the rest of them just kind of like, oops, I don't know what you're talking about. Claude just kind of starts digging in other stuff. So that would be the best way I could kind of explain it. Claude usually, I mean, if you tell him what to do and you keep him on rails, he does really, really good. I have not seen the other one that does that. So I have ran a lot of models, probably 30 to 50 different models locally, and I'm still using Claude. I am trying really hard to find a local model to run to do stuff locally, to not use as many Claude tokens, and I still have not found one to run parallel to it. And the problem is also how much resource intensive it is. And then you've got to consider how much context you got to have on top of the amount of resources you have for your model that you're loading. I mean, I knew there was a lot of variables, but I did not realize how resources intensive and how many variables there are in place when you go local. VLMs. Probably know what that is, but let me Google what that is.
Oh yeah, I don't know VLMs. Bebo, you have a new question for us.
Oh, vision language models.
Oh, like Gemini.
Just Google it. There's a lot of them.
Set the temperature to avoid that. Mixing temperature.
Let me see. I'll tell you the one I have right now. I just downloaded one the other day that has been working pretty good. And I think this is by Minstrel or whatever they are. Minstrel or I don't know how you say theirs, but Minstrel. Minstrel 3 has a 14 billion reasoning model. It is a vision model.
That's the UK one. Oh no, I was thinking the other one. I was thinking Mistral. This TRAL.
Mistral, yeah, that's it.
Was that it? Yeah, that's the UK.
Well,
the
this is
UK one.
Well, this is I'll just type it in the chat. This is Minstrel 3. It's a 14 billion model, and it's reasoning. It's got reasoning as well. It's 8.5 gigs for the one I got. There's many different sizes. If you ask any of the AIs about which ones to get, they usually will tell you the Q4KS. I don't know what that means. There's just like, that's the date when they're created or something. So by the time you get it, they might tell you a different one. And there's different sizes too, in accordance to when they're quantified, and if they're like 32 billion or if they're 16 or 8 or anyways. The one I have is 8.5. It's 14 billion. I've tried this one and it does pretty good. I'm not gonna say it's perfect, but I mean it's
good enough.
Pretty good time playing with it.
You're getting
better than the other one I had.
You're getting great performance out of it. Like honestly.
Yeah, I have another one that's at 8 billion and it's 5.5 megs, and it's a 8 billion model, which is a Quinn. And then I have another one that's this one was supposed to be really, really good. I got to play with it more. It's a GLM model. It says they were talking about Flash.
Gotta get a good one.
And it said it was supposed to be revolutionary because of something. I was reading an article about it just a couple of days ago. It's by ZA.org. And they're talking about how it's supposed to be revolutionary over something. I don't remember why. But they were saying it was supposed to be a lot smaller and be revolutionary and a lot better. So I downloaded it to try, and I haven't tried it yet. But it's 7.5 gig size, and it's that doesn't show me what the model billion parameter is, but it's version 4.6, GLM 4.6. So
that's a good one. That one's really affordable. That's their like Chinese GenSpark alternative.
But all the ones I'm mentioning are all in LM Studio. Download LM Studio, type these names I'm telling you in LM Studio, and you can download them and play with them. They're right there in LM Studio for free to download.
It's all there for free.
You just gotta have the space.
Just gotta have
You
the
gotta hardware
specs.
to run it.
Gotta have the engine to run it, man.
Don't ask me how many terabytes of hard space. Well, not that much because I don't have that much. But how many gigabytes of space I've taken up with all this model stuff? It's terrifying how fast your hard drive will go once you get into LLM stuff. Ugh, it is insane.
It gets nerdy. It gets super technical.
Well, I mean, when you're downloading like 10 and 12 and 16 gig models and you're needing to download 3 and 5 of them to test multiple different ones out, I mean, what is that right there? The 4 different 15 gig models, there's 60 gigs of your drive right there. And you do that twice in one day, that's over 100 gigs. And if you only have a terabyte hard drive like I do, I have 2 of them, you just ate 10% of your drive.
Yeah, it goes really fast. It goes really fast. It makes all the difference too. What's the size of DeepSeek? They have different sizes. I know a seven.
Yeah, it
They have different ones. Small, I mean, small, medium, large, basically.
And
To run it.
gigantic. There's a 305 billion model that you can download on DeepSeek. I was looking the other day trying to find a big model to use for DeepSeek, and they didn't even have one in the size I was looking in. They didn't have a small enough model for me to use. The smallest model they had was a 125 billion model. I couldn't even download one to use because they didn't even have one small enough. The biggest was like 305, and the smallest was like 125.
Yeah, it's
The one I was looking for. I mean, I've got DeepSeek Coder version 2, and I played with it some.
I love
I've got
DeepSeek, but
I got a different DeepSeek coder here. So, I mean, I've got 2 different DeepSeek coders.
yeah, DeepSeek's great. Nothing wrong. I don't know what the MHC is. DeepSeek MHC. But it's great. I mean, you could get out Open Router and just select it and just start using it. Unless you want to run it on.
I gotta look into Open Router. Of that and Olama, I've heard, especially with the image integration now. You can do both images and your calls all in Olama. I heard that they have both of it in Olama now. You can do your image generation and your calls, like in ChatGPT, where you can do both.
Yeah.
I have it where you can do both of them in it. So
Interesting. And GLM's great. It's like it's super cheap. Like it's like a cheap junior GenSpark because it's multimodal. Multimodal. You can hook up on the API. It's decent for coding. Again, like the coding comes down to like technical debt. Like there are cheaper models for coding, but you're gonna pay more in technical debt. Um, that's one of the biggest things. But all of them. But back to your thing about not trying an Open Router, I would rather now that you know like Open Router, Kai or Key, and then the one you were saying, which is I think it was Raw, something like that. Rail. No, the yeah, that API service that you were mentioning. I was like Rail Runway or something. I think it's like Runway or something like that.
Weave, yeah,
We
the Run Weave or whatever it is, or Ray Weave, or I
Ray
don't
Weave.
know. I looked it up that day you were asking. I was like, what's the cheapest ones out? Or actually, I had just looked it up like 3 days before you.
And I would just ask Claude or anyone just to do a search or comparison because sometimes there are cheaper, but there's like the one will do discounts, and then sometimes there's cheaper on yours API versus the other one. So there's ways to get nerdy to like cost optimization. I just want a good API that feeds me data. Like if like right now just building this API credit tracker, I'm like, oh, I could just call you and you could tell me how many credits I have left and dope. I could just get a little variable.
I'm just not talking about my career stuff.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
just goofing off.
And I am not a programmer. I am a proud vibe coder. Like Claude vibe coder. Hold
That's
on.
fine.
There we go. Why you're not making avatars with VO3 character consistency? VO3 sucks at character consistency. If you upload a photo and then run it, 8 seconds later, you're going to get a different character, no matter how good it is. Like, it's really good, but unless it's a character it rendered, it kind of struggles. Unless you're doing like a clean motion, way better. Then you could do avatars there. It's interesting. There's many different ways to create different avatars, but that's what people are looking for. That's the main game. But all we could do is vibe code.
Exactly.
Stick to one image. I know.
So
I'm
enjoyable.
happy.
Just makes it easy.
I'm
Just tell it the structure and work through the stuff and look at the code sometimes and see what it's doing.
like I'm happy with the quality of the output. Is like,
Oh yeah. I haven't been disappointed so far. From when I've looked at the code, it's done pretty good.
oh, we are. I think it more we're moving more into like managerial roles. It's not so much being lazy. It's more like we're just now supervisors, and we just have to supervise the LLMs because they're going to be doing all the work, and then we do QA. We're like, yes, that's right, that's wrong, fix this, go back, work again. But if you think about it, you are losing other skills, like my typing skills, deteriorating as I do more voice to text. I'm like, shoot, how did I type again? And that makes a
and
big
it gives
impact.
opportunities to other people too. For example, 2 years ago, I was diagnosed with a neurological condition and I haven't been able to code for 2 years myself. I am not able to actually code anymore. But with AI, I can code. I can't write the code myself. But with AI, because it does all the coding, I can tell it the concept and it can do it. And I can look at a file or two and kind of understand the concept and be like, yeah, that's generally right. But I couldn't sit there and actually write it anymore because of my health. So I now am able to still do, to an extent, when I have good days, what I did for 20 years of my career. But I can't do it as a job, or I can't, do it how I used to. I'm not as sharp as I was, but I can use AI because it's capable enough to do it for fun and still do something I love. And it's becoming even more capable to the point of it's able to do things I never could because it can do all of the languages that I wanted to develop and learned in, but it would have taken me months to learn. I can just say, hey, go develop this and this, instead of me spending 3 to 6 weeks or 2 or 3 months learning it. It just knows it. And then I get to learn it too. I'm like, how does this work? And how does this work? I might not retain it all, but I get to learn little odds and end pieces from what I can remember. Little nuances here and there. So you can make it if you choose. You can make it a learning experience. If you tell it to do it that way, you can say, I want you to be a coding assistant with me. So as you're going along, explain to me how you're building this. Like, teach me the terms. Teach me how you're architecting this. Like, explain to me as a 5-year-old or whatever, however you want to term it, how you're building this. And then you'll learn as it goes and like have it, you code with it. Like, I've even had to do that. Like let me write a little code with it, have it show you some examples and then you have to write some code with it. There are ways to make it valuable to teach you as well. So
Yeah, it's gonna help you become better. It's like this is the best learning experience of like how to code. It's like you have the teacher's edition the whole time, and then whatever they figure out what the bug was or whatever it is, and you're like, oh, I didn't know about that. Oh, that's a good implementation of a solution. And then you pick up these little tricks and you pick up little patterns, and you're like, oh, I guess next time I'll do this. I guess next time I'll do that next time. So yeah, I think we'll call it a night there. That's good stuff. Good session. Good hanging out with David. Your blessings. Stay safe, relax. I know you're working away.
Oh,
But
yeah, just chilling, working on a couple different things.
keep chilling. Yeah. We'll call it a night there. But good building tonight. I got enough work done tonight, so you gotta stop somewhere.
I got you. Did it finally get built what you wanted?
To show everyone finally what we have now is we now have the ability, we have a new feature in the app. So for everyone, this is Cam. This is my content automation machine. It's designed to publish, we've all seen the avatar stuff. So let's see here, and then actually he'll just publish avatar stuff, but that's not what we're focusing on today. Today we have a new feature, upload. In this new feature, say you create your own organic videos. These are whatever 13 videos I just recorded on my iPhone for short form content. So you can select them, all of them, and click open. Then it's automatically going to transcribe each video, and for each video it's going to write all of the captions unique for every social media platform. And so it wrote that, and if I like it, then all I do is refresh or go back. Here we go. So all I do, if I approve of it, I just click schedule. It's going to get processing, and it's going to look at my time slot to see when is the next time slot to publish, and it should publish, I believe, somewhere around this time slot down here. So if we go back, oops, did I interrupt you? Did he publish? Hold on, I want to make sure because I don't want to do double work. Oh, there he is. Yeah. So that new video wasn't there. So technically it should have done 4 videos and the next one there, but that's good enough. Let me check in my settings. Hold on. Because you can change the settings to publish multiple times a day, 6 a.m., 10 a.m., 12 p.m., 3 p.m. Cool. So you could change it to post multiple times a day. And there, yep, those are all scheduled. These all need to be scheduled. So we can just go ahead and click schedule. And then it will go on the calendar, do a little sound. Actually, I want to do it from the other side, but we'll see that change with the date in a moment. There we go. It's going to slot for Thursday at 10 a.m. saved. And then if we go to the calendar, yep, now starting to stack the content. So we can see we're stacking content throughout the week. And then we'll go to the dashboard. And so far this app has saved me a combined 169 hours back in my life. Granted, I probably spent 300 hours just building it, but accruing time back in my life. Now I start buying my time back. And that means 136 hours I never had to film, 27 hours I never had to write scripts, 6.5 hours I never had to manage social media posting on 6 different platforms. All that time back in my life. So nice little time saving there. And then let's just kind of get these guys finished scheduled, and then let's publish this guy. Boop. Then he's gonna go and get scheduled to upload, and then we'll do it for these two. But that's the app. That is Cam, my content automation machine. You could get Cam inside of your business, so that honestly you don't have to do the manual work of short form content. Honestly, what a waste of time. Like, this buys back. There we go. That's scheduled. Let's schedule this one. And it's scheduling to publish across 6 social media profiles. Almost there. and then we'll get the last one. But yeah, that's Cam.
That is awesome.
That's wild. That is just wild. In addition to the avatar stuff, it's like, Jesus. You can do it too if you want to spend 2 months of vibe coding. You can up vibe code anything you want. You're just clicking that roulette button to just say, yep, 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 yep.
You're being a yes man.
So yeah, I'm just a button presser for Claude. Claude is doing all the work. So it works out. How do you build the back end? Claude's doing all the back end, which is nice. The back end, it's just a Postgres database. Nothing fancy. He's doing all of that. I haven't touched anything databasey, which is nice. But cool beans. David, have a wonderful night. Good hanging out with you. Grateful. As always, I learned so much. Truly.
You too, man.
Have a great night. And for everyone else, have a wonderful night. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. And for you guys on YouTube, hope you guys... Hold on, let me answer your question if you're still there. Oh, you're gone.